Good evening, and welcome to our May 4, 2023 Commission meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'm the Vice Mayor, John Torringa, and as we have many folks out in the audience here, I would like to take just a brief moment to introduce a few of the folks up here. We have Commissioner Rob Walker, and we have Commissioner Jeff Gow. There's three of us members of the commission up here, and I'll explain that briefly in a moment. Down here on my extreme left, we have Jennifer, also known as Jen Cohen, who's our city attorney. We have our city manager, Jennifer Bramley, and we have our city clerk, Rebecca Schlechter. Mayor Bajowski and Commissioner Franey are attending the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council Resiliency Leadership Summit tonight. Can I get a motion for an excused absence for both of them?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes.
Although we should have debated that.
Yes. Don't get us in trouble. Jen, would you please provide the invocation, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you are able.
As we begin this meeting, let us take a moment to quietly reflect, according to our own beliefs, on our service to each other and this wonderful community, and to appreciate all of our life's teachers. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. We have a number of wonderful presentations tonight. We have the Teacher Appreciation Week Proclamation 2023. Jeff Gow, would you just take it away?
Vice Mayor, thank you very much. Oh my God, look at all the pretty people. This is so exciting. As the Vice Mayor mentioned, I'm Jeff Gow, not only City Commissioner, but I am the Commission Liaison to our community schools. It is a position that I hold insanely proud. Born and raised in Dunedin, I'm a graduate of San Jose Elementary, Dunedin Middle School, and Dunedin High School. So the idea, go Falcons. So the idea that I get to step back into those hallways and just try and connect community back to our schools and bridge that schools back to the community is just, if you guys don't know what's going on in our schools, and I'm sure you all do, but for the people at home, please get involved. They are doing amazing, amazing things. And teachers don't get nearly the praise that they should and the support that they should. And so please support our school teachers, support the students, and support the parents. We're all in this together. It is Teacher Appreciation Day Proclamation 2023, and we are going to follow that up with the Top Apple Awards. And so if I can invite Phyllis up to the podium to accept the proclamation, if she's in the house.
I'm going to have a chamber education.
Oh, and chamber and everybody.
They got a lot to announce.
I like it. Very good. Okay, Teacher Appreciation.
All right.
Wait.
Whoa. Okay.
You go, girl. She is ready.
I'm ready to
So
what do you
I'll try and read it fast, Pam. You're through this. Teacher Appreciation Week 2023. Whereas teachers strive to ensure the best learning conditions for our students, whether in a brick and mortar setting or in a distance learning environment, working long hours and finding creative solutions to difficult problems so our students can succeed in and out of the classroom. And whereas teachers have stepped up to support students' intellectual, social, and emotional learning, and whereas teachers work to open students' minds to complicate new ideas, gain knowledge, and pursue their dreams. And whereas teachers are working tirelessly to eliminate the opportunity gap and improve education outcomes for all our children. And whereas teachers fill many roles in our students' lives as mentors, motivators, listeners, creating lasting bonds with their students. And whereas devoted teachers in Dunedin are working countless hours and putting forth extra effort to help students achieve, preparing them for further education, the workforce, and their civic duties. Now therefore I, Jeff Gow, by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Mayor of the City of Dunedin, and on behalf of the entire City Commission, do hereby proclaim May 8th through May 13th, 2023 as Teacher Appreciation Week, and encourage parents, students, and community partners and citizens to show admiration and gratitude to the teachers in our schools.
Hi, everybody. I couldn't wait to talk. On behalf of the Chamber, I just wanted to introduce our Education Committee, which is part of our newly formed, it's been 10 days since I got the letter from the IRS that we have a foundation. So this is our vice chair, soon to be chair of the Chamber of Commerce, but she's going to be in charge of the foundation as well. And Meredith is on our board of the foundation and our education committee, and we have all kinds of things planned for next week. But we're really gearing up for next year, and because we feel like there's nothing more important than our teachers and students of Dunedin.
Yes, thank you. Oh.
Yes, I want to say thank you to all the teachers out there. Thank you to the City of Dunedin. We're very excited next week to show special thanks to our teachers for all that they do for the students within Dunedin. We're going to be at each Dunedin school, public school, giving them breakfast one morning next week. And we're very excited, along with some of the businesses have donated gift cards. The Blue Jays gave tickets to all the teachers, 2 tickets to each teacher. So we're really trying to show gratitude within the community, not just within the, not just us, but our communities came together to really congratulate or thank our teachers. So thank you very much.
I'll also tell you very quickly that Dunedin heartstrings are tied very strongly through all of the years, and even though I'm not teaching anymore, I stayed within the city that I love, and I'm very happy to be here, so thank you.
All right.
Well, I'm so lucky because I get to help out with the Chamber, and they've got great events, so thank you for our community support. So next on the agenda is our Mayor's Top Apple School Awards. So just a little history on this. It's in its 12th year. Our City Commission many years ago came up with this program to recognize all of our schools, and I'm actually glad the mayor's not here because I know she was going to say, Phyllis, we need a white paper on this program because it's such a unique thing. So I have it on my to-do list to do. But I want to thank the youth services librarians at Dunedin Library. They read through all of the applicants for these awards, which is great because I love all of our Dunedin schools and work with all of them. So I would have had such a hard time picking the winners. So we do have 2 different types of awards. We have our Mayor's Top Apple, which goes to our A schools or our schools that have gone up a grade. So for those schools, we have a banner that they are a Top Apple school, a trophy, a beautiful certificate. So our first school could not be here tonight. Curtis Fundamental is an A school. They are having their kindergarten tours at the same time right now. So I will be dropping off their award. I wanted to invite Dunedin High School Principal Kiplinger to come up to accept their award. Dunedin High went from a C to a B, and they are also very busy tonight. There's a district championship happening at TD Field right now, and then you're on your way to the softball
district championship too.
So I'll let you say a few words.
No, and thank you very much. And you've been outstanding with the communications with us, with the school. And it's an honor to us to be able to be up to a B this year. We haven't been a B since Principal Reuben Hepburn, so thrilled to be able to be back at that B. Right now, we're working our way up to try to get to that A, so we can also have another Apple Award for next year, to go up one, to be able to be the A. But our teachers have just been outstanding with the work that they've been doing and getting in with the academics that we've had with the Saturday schools. We're right in testing season right now. We kind of pace ourselves every day to check where we're at, and the scores are going up. We're about 3 percentage points from an A. We want to make sure that we maintain that all the way through, and we'll be able to see where we're at. But teachers have been outstanding. The students are right there, and it's the teachers getting the parents to make sure that we have them there on time. So we've had great attendance with the testing. They're not there late, and we're able to get them with their original testing sessions, and that way they're not making up anything, and they're getting ready for their next one too as well. So we greatly appreciate the parents, working with our parents and the school. And the city, you guys have been outstanding. Commissioner Gao, you're everything that we have. I greatly appreciate all the communication that you have with us, and thank you for that, along with the Guild and what they do with our students as well. So thank you. Thank you. So we have our boys baseball district at 6:30, and the girls softball championship will be at 7. So thank you.
Good luck. Good luck.
All right, go Falcons. Our next top apple to another A school is Discovery Academy, so I wanted to introduce their principal, Emre Akbaba.
Thank you so much. Next week is the start of the FSA testing, so we are not very busy, but we will be next week. And we have a very nice marine robotics team. They will be going to Washington, D.C. in the next 2 weeks to compete at the International Marine Robotics Competition. So I would like to say a few things. Ladies and gentlemen of the city, of the Dunedin City Commission, esteemed mayor and fellow citizens, thank you for honoring Discovery Academy of Science with the Mayor's Top Apple Award tonight. I'm truly grateful for your recognition. As you may know, we are currently relocating both campuses from Dunedin to Clearwater this fall. However, we have an ambitious plan to open a new campus in Dunedin, right where our current North Campus is located. So our vision for this new campus encompasses adding state-of-the-art STEM facilities, music and art studios, and upgraded cafeteria. These enhancements will foster a holistic education, nurturing our children's creativity, individuality, and well-being. We believe this project will shape the future of education in Dunedin, preparing our youth to face the challenges of an evolving world. Your guidance, expertise, and approval will be invaluable as we proceed, ensuring that the project aligns with our city's best interest. Together, let's invest in a brighter future for our children and the generations to come, building a stronger, more vibrant Dunedin. Thank you for your consideration, and I eagerly anticipate collaboration with you on this transformative endeavor. We love Dunedin. We would love to come back as soon as possible.
Okay, so now not everything is about the grade, and what I really love about our school awards is that our city focuses on all the great things happening in our schools, from arts to technology to health and wellness initiatives. So we have 5 other awards. Our first award is Achievement in the Arts, and this goes to Julia Roberts from Dunedin Elementary, and I'm just going to read a little bit and invite them up quickly. The program is called Artist in Bloom, and Principal Tina Murphy wrote this about Julia Roberts. Now, this is not the Julia Roberts from the movies, but she is another pretty woman who has been at Dunedin Elementary for 3 years. She has created a club that would allow younger artists in bloom to participate in their enrichment program. She had over 100 applicants for the program, and she recruited another teacher so she could have up to 24 students. Their artwork is everywhere, and she submits it into all of the different events, Dunedin Fine Arts Center, the county art events, and every month during their open court, they not only celebrate academics, but artistic accomplishments. So I'd like to welcome up Julia Roberts and Principal Tina Murphy.
And Julia is not really a public speaker, but I would just like to say there is no achievement gap in the arts, and we are so appreciative for our music, Miss Steele, and our art teacher, Miss Roberts, and what they're doing with our kids. So thank you guys for honoring her.
Thank you very much.
So our next award is Excellence in Technology, and you can see Principal Murphy staying here because this is also going to Dunedin Elementary to Tanya Albrush, and she is the Media Specialist Assistant, and she took the lead on developing a school newspaper and the very daunting task of being part of the yearbook club and overseeing the yearbook. I know there's another teacher out here that works on the yearbook, and it's a lot of work. The students are doing interviews, taking pictures. She's helping them get everything organized and get their work out electronically monthly. And what's wonderful is that students get to see their hard work put on display. And then Ms. Albrush also gets to see when this yearbook comes out soon at the end of the school year here. So we'd like to thank you to Ms. Albrush for using her media magic to help these students create. So come on up.
And once again, strangely, she also does not like public speaking. But any of you are welcome to come and visit Dunedin and take a glance at these newspaper articles that these kids have created. It's absolutely beautiful. They use good old-fashioned cameras instead of cell phones, and she has them writing their articles and doing their editing, and it is absolutely fantastic. So I won't say there's a calm and stress-free day I would recommend for you to come by, but if you come by, I will make sure that you get to take a glance at some of the great work that she's done. Thank you. So, thank you.
All right. Our next award is for the Health and Wellness Initiative, and this is going to Coach Tara Cook from Academy Da Vinci and Principal Cindy Dick. Coach Cook is an amazing leader at ADV. She's the full-time health and PE teacher for the middle school, along with being the volleyball coach. She headed up a school-wide Random Acts of Kindness partnership with Sonny's Barbecue, and it was an initiative to recognize students for having a spirit of kindness, and they were awarded a meal from Sonny's, and one class got a luncheon from Sonny's, so hopefully we could get invited to when they have that again. She also heads up their monthly Commitment to Character. She has a true passion for educating students and building a positive community. So thank you for making Academy Da Vinci, Dunedin, and our community a better place with your positive energy and kindness. So come on.
I wasn't planning on saying anything, but I just want to thank you. Well, Ms. Megacy nominated me, so her for the nomination. I didn't even know what it was, and Andrea came in and said, congratulations. I didn't know what she was talking about, but I'm happy to be here. I love where I'm at. I look forward to going to school every day. I have a kindergartner there as well, so I'm in it for the long haul, and I'm so appreciative of the award and my coworkers and the Dean of Students is Andrea Bartoloni, who also gets the apple. So yes, I'm just happy to be here, and thank you all so much.
And I love that her dad is here for her tonight. It's very sweet. With a book. I mean, heartstrings at the librarian right here. Thank you. Our next award, and Coach Cook already gave out who it is, goes for Visionary Leadership. And this is to Andrea Bartoloni. She is the Dean of Students at Academy Da Vinci. She works closely with teachers, students, families, and school stakeholders to make sure performance guidelines are met, school safety, student discipline, curriculum instruction, student activities, and personnel management. So all the fun stuff, right? She has an open door policy for all to come and talk to her to share triumphs, issues, or concern. And Leanne wrote in her application that Mrs. Bartoloni takes ownership when things go wrong and gives credit when things go right. She leads with compassion and empathy, and those are true qualities of a leader. So congratulations, Andrea Bartoloni.
I'm not much for words, so I just want to say thank you very much.
Okay, and this one is a big one. So our next award is our Golden Apple Teacher of the Year. Everyone's so excited. Congratulations to Mrs. Amber Geronimo from Garrison Jones Elementary. Speech to write out because the nomination was done by Senora Kogan. It was about this big with lots of pictures, and I have a lot to say. And Principal Jen Tapia, thank you for being here this evening as well. The fabulous things about Mrs. Geronimo would take this entire meeting. She is a passionate educator who injects just the right amount of humor and fun to keep things interesting and engaging, especially when using her classroom character, Grammar Granny. Who is Grammar Granny, you ask, or whom? Mrs. Geronimo is not afraid to dress up as Grammar Granny or a judge or a detective so you can learn about context clues. She loves to dress up and anything to get her students engaged. When she catches a student reading, they get their book added to the reading board. There's hundreds on there. They have pictures of their pets outside her classroom. She's implemented a wall of Where in the World is Flat Stanley, if you guys remember those projects, where families mail their Stanley around the world. She's organized author visits, meteorologists. She even held an election. So Rebecca, you may want to hire her for our city elections. This was a very important one. She encouraged the whole school to come vote for their favorite snack on election day.
I like that.
When she noticed students were a little stressed, she did some mindful yoga with them. And her time isn't just in the classroom. She visits her students and former students at sporting events, out in the community. And even when she noticed someone really struggling, she made the time to do some outside activities with that person, some pottery painting and other excursions with that student. And being at Garrison Jones, she embraces the dual language program, and the students celebrated Dia de los Muertos by bringing in pictures of their loved ones who passed. Mrs. Geronimo was noted by a fellow teacher to be an exceptional educator whose passion and dedication shines through in all her aspects of her work. So congratulations.
Thank you so much for the support. With this job, it's tireless sometimes. So having the support of the city of Dunedin and obviously all of these wonderful humans behind me, supporting teachers and my job especially, it makes it all worth it. I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for my better half over there, my work wife, Lorena Kogan. She has made me the educator I am today and a better person in general, so I'm thankful for her.
right, I can't top that. So thank you, everyone, for supporting our Mayor's Top Apple School Awards. We have so much fun every year recognizing our teachers. Next week's Teacher Appreciation Week, so please make sure, encourage our citizens to get out there and support all of our teachers. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you for all the Dunedin schools that take care of our children and our families. From the bottom of all of our hearts, from the entire City Commission, we thank you and we're really proud of you. We get to do this every year. This is our 12th year, and it's just as much fun every year as what it was the previous year. So congratulations on all the winners, and everybody is a winner because all of our teachers are fantastic, and we appreciate you acknowledging that as you receive your awards. Thank you for some special attention brought by our special group here that just formed. And so we're going to move on, and I would like to just make this short announcement. You may wish to go ahead and check the outside air, or you may stay if you would like. You can stay for any part of this that you would like, but you may wish to leave, and if you do, please do so, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you. We'll take a brief break here just for a minute or two in our seats. There'll be a lot of noise.
That's funny. Would have been nice if we were in the new city hall.
I love that they got all excited for that teacher. I mean, all of them.
Good lunch.
Yeah.
We need to have kids at every meeting. Makes it a lot more positive.
I know.
When's the last time we had that much energy?
No kidding. That was just wonderful.
I know. All the energy. That door can't be closed.
All right. So this is our time for citizen input. Does anyone in the audience wish to speak on a topic that is not on tonight's agenda?
There's a gentleman over there.
There's a gentleman.
Please. Please come on up. Please give your name and your address, and the city clerk will put some time on that meter up above, 3 minutes, and you have 3 minutes. Thank you.
I barely need to, sir. My name is Drew Armstrong. I live at 1033 Park Drive here in Dunedin, right down the road. I grew up here in Dunedin since I was at the age of 3, and I've been a dog owner for all my life. Recently, I had found out that I have a bad hip, and that's why I've been walking with a limp lately. I would very much like I was told at the other city hall they would be turning this one into something else. I would like to suggest maybe like a more localized small dog park. That way, the community can. I noticed there's a mural over there with a ton of dogs, and I grew up here in Dunedin, obviously, dog lover. I noticed a lot of people walking their dogs around. Not everyone has a car though, so it'd be more convenient if there was like a closer by dog park for the dog lovers around Dunedin to bring their dog to. I can't always go all the way down to a salon to bring my dog there. So I would like to suggest that this place, once you guys move out, be turned into a small-scale dog park.
Thank you for your input.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Is there anyone else that wishes to speak on a subject that's not on the agenda? Hearing and seeing none, we'll go ahead and close this the citizen input session. We have several action items tonight. Our first is our annual comprehensive financial report for the year ending September 30th, 2022. Prior to the staff presentation, City Manager Jennifer, do you have anything that you wish to add, or shall we just move on with the staff
I
presentation?
think we can move on, Vice Mayor. We have a fairly comprehensive presentation. I think it's self-explanatory.
Thank you. Please.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. Les Tyler, the Finance Director. I'm pleased to be here this evening to present our city's fiscal year 22 annual comprehensive financial report. I'd like to recognize the team members in the finance department that prepared the majority of this document, and that is Ross Adair, our accounting manager, who did the majority of the heavy lifting, putting this together with assistance from Vicki Pickrell, our senior accountant. Ross is with us today. He's in the back behind us, and I just want to mention Ross is a very dedicated team member in the finance department. He's a huge asset to our department in the city. This is a very large document, our annual financial statement, and with a lot of details, and I'm very proud of what Ross and the accounting team has done to present this audit this evening. We have a representative from our audit firm of MSLPA with us today to provide a recap of the 22 financial audited statements, and I'll turn it over to Jeff Wolf, who is a shareholder with the firm, to go over the audit.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Again, I just always like to start off just again thanking you for allowing us to serve you as your external auditors. We realize we work for you, and we just really appreciate that opportunity. So with that, I'll get right into it. You all should have a handout, which is our required communications letter. Government auditing standards required us to communicate certain things to you, so that letter serves that purpose. It's kind of standard driven, doesn't change too much from year to year, so I'll just kind of touch on a couple of the key highlights of the letter. First, you really just go over our responsibility in the audit and to really perform an audit in accordance with standards and then render opinion on those financial statements and whether they're materially correct. Significant audit findings, and really the big change this year was GASB 87 leases, which we've kind of been talking about for years, and it finally came. And I really want to commend staff on this. It was really a significant standard that involved a year's worth of time identifying those contracts that are applicable to the standard and then properly addressing that standard. And actually, the city was, I think, the first of our clients that had draft, journal entries and really dug into the standard early on to really allowed us to kind of get a deep dive into it really before anybody else. So I really want to commend staff on taking the initiative to, properly implement this standard. Unfortunately for them, they get to do it all over again with a new standard, GASB 96, which is similar to that. So unfortunately, they'll have to do it all over again, but I think the roadmap is there at least. Again, as I said, no difficulties encountered during the audit. It was a very clean process, and you'll see as I go over the reports, the results speak for themselves. The other kind of thing I want to point out is that we had no corrected or uncorrected misstatements, meaning no significant audit adjustments during the audit. So, when you're getting that financial information, you can just have some reliance that you are getting quality information because, what we started with in the audit was what we ended with in the financial statements. So with that, I'll go right on to the reports. First is our independent auditor report, and that is a report on whether the financial statements are materially correct. You can see that report's a little bit different. There was some standards changed, auditing standards that really required, they said what's the most important part of the report, and that's the opinion, so that got moved up to the front. And you can see you have an unmodified opinion, which I know doesn't sound anything spectacular, but that is the highest level of assurance you can receive. That is, the clean opinion best you can get. So it's always important to point that out. Our next report, going all the way to the back of the book, is our report on internal control over financial reporting and compliance. Now, part of our audit is we're required to understand and test internal controls to help plan our audit, but it's not necessary to render opinion. We don't do enough work to render opinion, so you don't see one in that report. However, though, if we were to find any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies during the audit, we would include those in that report, but as you can see, that is a clean report, no findings or no issues noted. And again, this is going to be repetitive, but that is good news. Our next set of reports is the single audit report, and this year is actually new. You qualify for both the federal and state single audit, meaning you've spent $750,000 in federal funds and also $750,000 in state funds. And just a clarification, I get this question sometimes on the schedule of finding questions cost. You'll see you're noted if there's a spot for low risk auditee, and that answer is no. That's just because you haven't had a federal audit, single audit in 2 years. That's requirement number one. So if you haven't had a federal single audit, that automatically deems you high risk, but that's not really a representation of the city. It's nothing you can control. Once you have 2 federal single audits in a row, then you get moved to that low risk, which just means we can test less. But you can see we had one federal program that we audited, which was the coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. No findings, no issues noted there. That, again, likely we'll be seeing again for the next couple years as the city continues to spend those ARP funds. And then on the state side, you had the Economic Development Partnership, which is something you have every year relating to the spring training funds you get from the state. Again, no findings, no issue noted in that report. Next is the Independent Accountants Report. This is a report required under Florida statutes that just compliance as it relates to investments. Again, no findings or issues noted in that report. And lastly is the Auditor General Required Management Letter. This letter covers a couple things. First, if it requires us to report on financial condition or any financial emergencies, no issues there. You're obviously in good financial standing, so that's clean. There's also some transparency requirements, and if there was any other matters we thought it'd be significant to communicate to governance, it'd be included in that letter. But once again, it's a clean report, no findings or no issues noted. So I'll get in real quick to some very high-level financial numbers. This is a citywide analysis. Basically, if your city, if the city was a business, meaning recording long-term assets, long-term debt. And really, the things I want to point out real quick is first of all, you're reporting positive net position in all categories. That's always good to see, and not always common sometimes. With pension plan funding, sometimes you see those negative often in municipalities, but you have a very strong pension plan, so it's always good to see those numbers being positive. And then also your unrestricted net position as a total percentage of expenses. This is really your ability to meet your current expenses. You'll see in the governmental activities, it's 40.5, and that's up from 29.5 in the prior year, so significant improvement there and very strong numbers. And then your business type activities are 115% compared to 109% in the prior year. So those numbers continue to be strong and actually even improve. Now onto your general fund, which is obviously your main operating fund. I think the key numbers here is really your assigned and unassigned fund balance as percentage of total expenditures. Again, it's your ability to meet your ongoing expenditures and also be prepared, for emergency. Being in Florida, you never know when the next one might come, so it's always good to have a nice, healthy reserve. And again, you'll see, continued strong, 31.9%, a very strong number, and that's up from 21.3% in the prior year. Both years showing a positive change in fund balance in the general fund. So overall, a very healthy fund. Just looking at the general fund budget, you can see you came in $2.2 million higher in the revenue, and then you underspent your budget by $3 million. So an overall net positive variance of $5.2 million compared to budget in the general fund for fiscal year 22. Your significant proprietary funds, again, all showing positive results, positive cash flows. So, meaning, the rates being charged are covering your operating expenses. Just some comparisons. The prior year, your water and sewer had an operating income of 1.4 in the prior year, consistent this year again, and up at 1.8. Your stormwater actually had a loss of the prior year of $0.5 million. This year had a positive income of 0.5, so there's a $1 million positive swing there as well. And lastly, your solid waste had a $0.4 million operating income compared to 0.3. So overall, again, your enterprise funds are doing well and financially sound. So I know that was a lot in a short time, but if there's anything you'd like to discuss on the audit process or the results, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions. But once again, I think the takeaway is, again, a very successful audit, very clean audit, and staff should be commended on that.
Could you repeat that whole thing all over?
You mean the last part?
The whole bit.
Les, is this the conclusion of the presentation?
Yes,
Thank you very much. From commissioners, do we have any questions at this point in time? Later, we'll have comments. Do we have any questions for either one of the presenters tonight?
Yeah, so yeah. Me?
Please, go
Okay,
ahead.
All right. The difference between the business activity and the government activity, that wasn't quite clear.
On the citywide analysis?
Yeah.
The difference between the two? Yeah, the governmental activities, that is your governmental funds that are recorded modified accrual, but for the citywide analysis, it's full accrual. So it's your general fund, your special revenue funds, your capital project funds, that makes up the governmental activities. With your business type activities are your enterprise funds, so it'd be your water and sewer fund. That would be your business type that is always full accrual. So there's no difference between the fund level statements to the business type activities in the citywide analysis.
Okay. And in terms of the increase in general fund reserve, is there a specific forcing function that created that, or what was the?
I can make a few comments on that.
Yeah.
Our revenues came in better than budget and better than prior year for sure. We had $2 million of ARPA in '22 that we had in the general fund. That helped '22 actuals out. And our charges for services, which is our charges for Parks and Rec department and different departments charging for programs, came in quite a bit higher. Oh, sorry, thank you. Charges for services came in significantly higher than budget by about $800,000, which part of that was we were conservatively budgeting that because they went down dramatically during COVID, and we were careful to budget as we came out of COVID, but they came in $800,000 more. Sales tax came in $300,000 more than budget in the general fund, and revenue, quite a few of the revenue, the key revenue sources in the general fund came in higher, and that was the reason on the revenue side. Mainly on the expenditure side, we were about $3 million under budget, Jeff mentioned, but I want to point out that about $1.8 million of that was a carryover we did after year end. We had a bunch of purchase orders and encumbrances and projects that did not get done in '22 that we brought forward to '23. So while we had $3 million less actuals expenses, we did, part of that was we just didn't we had projects that went into next year, so we brought that 1.8 million over. So, but '22 was a good year, our revenues.
Can I add to this, also the department spent less.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And
Department spent less, true, yeah.
I mean, it was, their expenditures were conservative, but also we had a lot of salary savings because of open positions.
Yeah, we had about 520,000 in salary savings positions, yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Jeff?
No comments.
No questions?
No questions, I'm sorry.
Lots of comments. I'm not challenging the $2 million that you mentioned. I'm just asking, just to reiterate, or just so that I understand a little bit better. For the general fund, you mentioned the $2 million from ARPA. Where does the remaining of the ARPA funds, are they spread pretty much throughout, or just, if you don't mind making a comment about that, since we had a large sum of monies?
Sure.
If you could just kind of talk about that just a little bit, because that had some positive impact, and that's good.
Sure. Yeah, we had $2 million in '22 of ARPA in the general fund. We also had $1 million in '23 in the general fund ARPA. So that totals about just over $3 million in the general fund. And the remainder of the ARPA funding is in our special revenue fund. We have a ARPA special revenue fund, and we have a number of projects that are in the ARPA special revenue fund that totaled about $15 million in total. And we've spent about $5 million to date so far of ARPA funds, but we have a number of, the majority of the projects are in that special revenue fund.
Thank you.
We'll be giving you a full accounting of the ARPA fund too, and bring you up to date on where we are through the budget process.
Thank you. Excellent, excellent. Let me just open this up for public hearing, if we don't have any further questions. Does anyone in the public that is in attendance at this meeting have any questions at this point in time?
On the audit or the budget itself?
On the presentation.
The audit.
That's correct. Presentation of the audit that was just made. Hearing and seeing none, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. I'd like to ask for a motion to accept the city's annual comprehensive financial report for fiscal year ended September 30th, 2022.
Moved. I don't know. Yeah, second.
All right, well then we'll just move right along and just say, all in favor, say aye. Aye. And this motion passes unanimously.
Would like to comment.
Yes. So here we come with the commission comments. Do you have any comments?
Didn't mean to, just not understand the flow. Yeah, just that we talk a lot about our epic goals and why things like water isn't there and infrastructure isn't there, is because those we think are just normal processes the city should do well. And, you know, I think audits and our financials fall into that group as well. We shouldn't have to have an epic goal of having audits like this. It should be just what cities do. And so I'm really proud of the staff and the focus and the passion you guys have for what you do, and this reflects so well on who we are as a city. So just thank you very much, Les. Thank you to Ashley, the entire team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if I may, I think the thing, I think we all realize that ARPA funds had a very big impact to our budget this year, and we also have been the recipient of increase in home values and subsequently property taxes, and I think that's important to note that. But the thing that really should be focused on is the due diligence that the staff and the city has done to bring our expenses down. I think that should not go without notice. So anyway, good job on that.
Mine will be just in show and tell. Great piece. Excellent. Well done, well read. Thank you. We come to our second item, action item here. The second reading of ordinance 2218. This is about the vehicles for hire. Jen, would you please read the ordinance 2218 by title only?
Happy to. Ordinance 2218, an ordinance of the City of Dunedin repealing Chapter 82, Vehicles for Hire of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dunedin in its entirety, creating Chapter 82, Transportation Services, Vehicles, and Micromobility Devices, providing for codification, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2218, repealing Chapter 82, Vehicles for Hire in the entirety and creating Chapter 82, Transport Service Vehicles and Multi-Mobility Devices?
So moved.
Second.
We're going to have a staff presentation.
Okay. At the January 16th, 2020 Commission reviewed the Ordinance Review Committee report, their final report, and recommendations. And at the March 30th, 2020, staff was directed to prepare an ordinance with the changes noted for this Chapter 86, which we have before you. The first reading was held on 2218, August 18th of 2022. And the second reading, obviously, is tonight. It was advertised in the Tampa Bay Times on April 19th to meet the advertising requirements for this evening. So, and I think, Jennifer, you wanted to just mention you did receive a supplement today with just a couple of minor, not in the title, but in the.
Yeah, there was no change to the title or the intent of the ordinance itself. There was a typographical error on one page, and then on a couple other pages where it mentioned public vehicle, and it was dealing with transportation services vehicle. We just clarified that those are transportation services vehicles, not any public vehicle. So, and that's it's under that title in the code, and so it was clear that that was the intent all along of this board.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for staff?
No questions.
And nor do I. Let's go ahead and open this for public hearing. Does anyone present have any thing to say or speak about on this subject? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Commission comments. Jeff, do you want to go first?
No, there's no comments.
I have no comments either. This is almost like a housekeeping item. We've passed this on the first reading, and it just kind of got delayed and kind of got slowed up a little bit for us. So we're just finishing this up now. So we've been all through this several times. So could I please, Rebecca, would you please have a roll call
Yes.
vote?
Commissioner Walker?
Aye.
Commissioner Gao?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Twonga?
Aye. And so that motion passes unanimously. So we have the third item here, which is going to be the reward of some particular items. But I'd like to go ahead and ask for our city attorney, who brought to my attention that she would like to make some clarification comments about this item.
So there's just one thing that was brought to my attention today, and in looking at the item, just a clarification as to the motion. And so the motion for the board's consideration is to approve the list of qualified consultants as recommended by staff. And then at a subsequent meeting, we'll bring back all of the contracts for your approval and consideration.
We're going to ask that we put that on May 18th when we get there, but.
So you'll help us with that at the end when we ask for the motion to make sure we get that clear, if you would, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. We have a staff presentation.
Yes. Good evening, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. I'm Chuck Agnes, city's purchasing agent. As you're aware, we use consultants on a regular basis, and over the years, we've had multiple consultants under contract for services. Some of those services are, the services come in 7 different divisions, we call them, and those contracts expired recently, and we issued an RFQ to put new contracts in place or new agreements in place for 4 of those divisions. You recently approved renewals for the selections of consultants under the other divisions at the March 21 meeting. So we issued RFQ 23-12-21 to identify and qualify consultants under 4 different divisions. That was issued and came back, and we have a recommendation today to approve approximately 22 consultants as being added to the city shortlist.
Thank you. Do you have any questions, Rob?
Yeah, I just, this may be in the package here, but how is that determination made in terms of who becomes the short list of consultants?
Each one of the divisions, and again, we had 4 divisions here, so we put an evaluation committee together for each one of those 4 divisions. And the people on that committee are tasked with reviewing the submittals and identifying the most qualified consultants that they want to recommend for addition to the shortlist.
Was there any sort of quantifiable metric that was used to make that determination?
They have, it's sort of a yes-no qualification. They're either qualified or not, and then there's a secondary step that selects the most qualified. So if you're saying, is there a score? No, there weren't any scores, except that they rank them after the subsequent, once they determine they're qualified, they rank them, and then we pick the most qualified.
So basically what that means, though, is that for services, that you would not necessarily go out and compete for services for those particular consultants that are on the short list then?
That's correct. If the particular project meets some other requirements, for example, if it's going to cost less than $500,000 for a study for a consultant, and I think it's $4 million in construction costs for the project, we could use the consultants on the short list. If it exceeds either of those 2 metrics, then we have to advertise again to the world to get
Okay, so there's a cap on the project scope then?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Jeff?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Yeah, just kind of two questions, and to follow up with Commissioner Walker's question. For a vendor that didn't make the short list, would we be able to justify?
We could give them copies of the rankings, if that's what you mean, and they do request that frequently.
We would be able to defend our decision?
Yes.
Okay. And then the second question is just to clarify, this is just a list of vendors. We are not committing any public funds to this right now.
That's correct. If we, in the future, have a project we can use one of these consultants on, we'll come back to commission if it exceeds $50,000 for approval of that award.
That's all.
Thank you. Chuck, just to reiterate this, and I think I've talked to you about this before. So we've got some limitations. You said they were $500,000
Yes.
for consultant and $4 million on construction side. And so we see some common names in there that we've seen over a period of time, and that just makes good sense, I would guess.
Mhm.
So those are people that do a lot of the work. But I appreciate you making the comment that we would certainly keep open as we proceed forward on anything that we're doing, to look to see if there's perhaps not somebody that might be better or not, and we do that.
That's correct.
And you do that, and so I appreciate that, and you've confirmed that to me before, so I just wanted to reiterate that. Let's go ahead and open this up for public hearing. Does anyone here wish to speak on this subject? Seeing and hearing none. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And now it's time to ask for a motion. And so I'll start off just briefly by stating that we're looking for a motion to approve the award of continuing services for a list of qualified consultants. How am I doing so far as?
You're doing pretty good. I would just say to approve the list of qualified
Thank you.
consultants.
So can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All righty then. Commission comments.
Well done.
You want to go ahead and start? You want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, sure. Well done, Chuck. You go.
Good planning. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, so I've actually got a question too, but so this is essentially your preferred vendors list for consultancy. And my question is how often is that revisited?
Well, we have now, I believe it's 3 different groups, I guess you could say. We've issued RFQs over the past 3 or 4 years where we've either, like this one, we've added certain groups of consultants. We've added other disciplines over the last 5 years. So typically the contract period is 5 years, and once that expires, we can either renew it for a 2-year period, or we would go out like we did this time for new contracts.
Well, thank you. Yep.
Anything else? Anything from you? All right, I'd like to have a voice vote for this, and so I'll just state all in favor of this motion. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And this motion passes unanimously. We come to the 4th item, and that's the proposed agenda for May 18, 2023 Commission meeting. Are there any additions or changes?
We
to
do
the
want
proposed
to
agenda?
add the Law Enforcement Appreciation Month to that agenda.
As a presentation
Yes.
or proclamation.
May I have is there any questions?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, I'm sorry,
Yes,
I do
ma'am.
have an addition. So what we'll do with those agreements, because there are 22 of them, and they need to be before you, and we want to get them to you as quickly as we can. So we actually don't have to have you pre-approve consent, but we're going to put it on consent as one item, and we'll attach the 22 different contracts, and you can approve them all at that point on May 18th.
All right. May I have a motion to approve the proposed agenda with the addition of the Law Enforcement Appreciation Month?
So moved.
And the agreements.
But it's consent, so they don't
have to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Second.
Good job.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And this motion passes unanimously. Just as we're coming to a close, I just wanted to give or ask if anybody has anything that they wish to bring up at this point in time. I know we don't have the other two folks here that we would normally update, so if we just want to withhold anything or hold back anything for the next meeting, that's fine. Well, I just want to give anybody an opportunity.
If you don't mind, Vice Mayor, just wanted to acknowledge, right, that the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council we're currently having our Sustainability Resiliency Summit. And I attended this afternoon, and the mayor was on a panel discussion, and she represented Dunedin very well, and it was a good discussion. So just wanted to acknowledge that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm just happy we have the law enforcement appreciation added to the month of May. Thank you.
So, may I have a motion to adjourn? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.
Those opposed, turn the lights out.